what kind of value sharing agreements should the companies have with the partners, how to ensure that those partnerships are non-cannibalizing in nature, because any partnership that has cannibalizing traits is an unstable marriage. And we go live. Today we are going to talk about why digital partnerships and strategic alliances are super important in the age of platforms and digital ecosystems. We all know that businesses cannot build and buy everything themselves, and that's where partnerships come in handy. And in the traditional times, we have all seen partnerships ranging from classical joint ventures to complete mergers and acquisition of format. But in the digital age that we are living, a new kind of format when it comes to strategic alliances and digital partnerships is emerging, and it's called digital ecosystems format. How companies partner with other companies in the ecosystem so that they create value for each others. Digital ecosystem is just a new age word, the product, platform, and digital partnerships, wherein multiple companies come together to create an offer that creates value for the customers, and in the process, both the orchestrator of the ecosystem and the platform partners of the ecosystem, they win. Today, we are going to talk about why digital partnerships and strategic alliances matter a lot more than you think in the platforms and ecosystems age. Businesses cannot build and buy everything on their own. Why do companies go for digital partnerships? The first reason why the companies require or sign for digital partnerships and strategic alliances is that it gives them the opportunity for new growth and new revenue categories. Digital ecosystems actually enable you to acquire customers at a lower cost because your partners of the ecosystem already have them on their platforms or in their business related mobile apps. So now it's a matter of partnership with them and how to see how you can ensure that a certain chunk of their customers also move into the overall ecosystem that you have built up with them. Or maybe if you can enter into a non-cannibalizing partnership with them that enables you or creates a win-win situation for both you and the partner. And it is not just the partner's customer base that you get access to or the partner's product base that you get access to. It is also that your partner gets access to your customer base. And generally, such partnerships are a win. Second reason behind these partnerships is cost optimization and on-demand models. Imagine if a company has a particular process that needs to be done 2 times in a year. It would not be logical to own everything that is required to do that process 2 times a year. Hence, on-demand enterprise softwares and vendors come into existence. So if you have partnerships that enable you to not acquire the asset and yet enjoy the access to the asset, then the partnership really serves its value. So we are living in the age where access matters more than ownership. Technology access that can be given to you by the partners, then there is no need to own the partner or there is no need to invest in that capability. A lot of businesses are asset heavy. They have a lot of surplus assets lying on their balance sheet which they do not know how to monetize. The good thing about the partner ecosystem and the strategic alliances is that it gives you the opportunity to work with your partner to discover newer revenue streams and how to get higher returns on the surplus assets that are already present in your balance sheet. How can you use them? It is a classic the sharing economy model wherein you understand that whatever you have owned in the past, if it's not easy to divest and you would still like to own, then it makes a lot of sense that you discover newer ways to monetize it. And that's where your partners can help you a lot. Collaboration and cooperation. If you are a company who has partnered with the top technology companies in a particular region, then the chances are high that those technology companies, depending upon the agreement that you have had with them, may not partner with your competition, and that gives you a strategic advantage. So as the orchestrator of the ecosystem, it is very important for you to understand that the companies that you would like to partner with, which are the companies that you would like your competition to not partner with, and hence you make that preemptive move to partner with them, sign exclusive agreements with them, forbidding them to join the competition's ecosystem. These are some of the strategies that you can use. Technology vendors, it could be related to your ERP vendors, it could be related to supply chain or procurement partnerships that you have developed over a period of time, or operations partnerships. Having that advantage of working with the best-in-class partners in the industry can actually give you a lot of tailwinds that are needed to win in the business and to beat your competition. When we are entering a newer market or a newer geography, a lot of due diligence is required. Sometimes that due diligence can also cost a lot of money. In order to optimize on that due diligence process, it helps that if there are certain pilots that are done with the local companies in that particular region. Imagine a product company trying to enter into a new geography. For example, it makes a lot of sense for it to partner with the e-commerce dominant players in that geography in order to understand that how do consumers respond. Is there a need to invest a lot of capital? Can they first start on an asset light e-commerce partnership kind of model, and then over a period of time they can evolve? And if it is a service provider, then can you train some of the employees of your partner organizations in order to provide your service while you make a licensing fee or some of the commissions on the service that is being provided by the local vendor? Another advantage to this is that you get an understanding of the local market firsthand, and you get to work with companies and to gain all the intelligence that is needed before you start investing capital in that economy. New technology access is another reason why companies like to partner. Access to the exclusive patents and the disruptive technologies is a well-known advantage in the industry, and hence if you could manage to do that and secure some of the technologies through these partnerships, then it's a win-win for you and also for the inventor of these technology. Implementation of those technologies at scale and piloting with your business can help them scale up as well, so they would be more than happy to partner with you. I will talk about this in another point related to the startups. Having access to the most critical technologies that are relevant for your industry and sector, it is very important, because this could be the difference between whether your model survives disruption or whether it gets disrupted. Coming on to the next point, spotting the game changers. Startup partnerships are more important than ever in today's times. All the incumbents or the companies that are the big traditional companies within a sector, they are on the scout to look out for the most disruptive startups. And one way they can go about it is making a list of unicorns and soonicorns, and also the companies that have received Series A, Series B, Series C kind of funding within their sector. This one startup audit practice can save them a lot of hassle in the future. They will be at the forefront of understanding how the VCs are thinking, what are the disruptive technologies that could change their entire business model in a matter of 4 to 5 years. Thus, startup partnerships are very critical. So as a CXO, it is very important for you to ensure that you are doing the audits of the startups in your industry, and you know which ones have the game-changing model or which ones have access to a disruptive technology that can completely kill your business model in the next 3 to 5 years. The reason why ecosystems are different from traditional players is that ecosystems have an industry level impact. Think of some of the world's best apps, right? The super apps, if you were to think of. You cannot imagine the future of mobility without an app like Uber or Grab. They are not just companies, they are ecosystems that have an impact at the industry level. They determine the future of mobility in the regions in which they operate. Thus, it is very important for you to understand and see what are the orchestration opportunities within your industry, whether the orchestrator's throne has already been taken or is the throne still lying empty. Generally, in every industry, there is scope for a couple of orchestrators, one that acts like the global disruptor and the other one that comes from the local market. And sometimes there can be three. But generally, from experience, it has been seen that there cannot be more than 3 orchestrators in any industry if they have to become profitable in the long run. Even 3 sounds like a crowded orchestrator market. 2 is the ideal number because they both compete with each other and the customers enjoy a lot of advantage of the offers that they get. And 3 is also a good number. Ecosystems are future-proof business models as they create dependencies. As I said, you cannot imagine the future of e-commerce without the likes of Amazon, without the likes of Lazada and Shopee. And likewise, you cannot imagine the future of mobility without the likes of Uber, Grab, Didi Chuxing, and all the big mobility players that operate in respective geographies. The ninth reason why the digital partnerships are important is that they are flexible and agile business models. You could design the ecosystem and keep it open or closed depending upon the agreements that you have with the partners. For example, in cases of B2B ecosystems, it makes a lot of sense that your ecosystems are closed or restrictive so that not anybody can join it. And likewise, in case of open ecosystems, where in Amazon, its goal is that more and more sellers can register on the platform and the ecosystem so that it can sell their product. So higher the number of third-party operators operating on the open platform, more would be the network effect. And same for not just the e-commerce companies, but also for the mobility companies. More the number of drivers that sign up, it helps the companies in ensuring that the supply is right and the customers enjoy the advantage that there are maximum drivers, and hence the pricing stays in check. So there's not an undersupply kind of situation. So the demand and the pricing gets auto-corrected and balanced properly. One more significant advantage of digital partnerships, strategic alliances, or the ecosystem thinking is that the orchestrator and the partners of the ecosystem get access to certain data points that they would not have got access to if they were operating in isolation. With data access comes the opportunity to monetize that data by building the right data monetization models. And the orchestrator enjoys a lot of advantage in this because the orchestrator is like the sun of the solar system of the partners. It sits at the center and has access to the most partners' data. And jointly, depending upon the partner negotiations and the alliances negotiations that have taken place, even the partners can decide with the orchestrator what kind of data that they will get access to. Why data is important is that data is the new fuel. A company like Amazon has transaction data of all the customers who actually shop, and also the transaction data for all the merchants that are listed on Amazon's platform. Now, just by access to this high integrity trust data that they have, they can offer new products to the merchants. Imagine all the profitable merchants can enjoy loans from Amazon at a lower interest rate, and hence Amazon has the potential to disrupt banking. Amazon Pay and Amazon Voucher kind of services to the customers that gives them higher value and saves on a lot of things. And for Amazon owned products, this will be even important because then they don't have to pay the transaction fee to the banks or the credit card companies using which their own customers actually transact on the Amazon platform. So these are the broad 10 reasons why companies have digital partnerships and strategic alliances. The goal is to lower the cost of customer acquisition, increase revenue growth, attain operational efficiencies, optimize the returns on the surplus assets, making sure that they have a future-proof business model in place, value creation for the partners, and data monetization opportunities for the self and the partners. For this entire gamut of advantages that actually come with the right set of digital partnerships and strategic alliances can make a business future-proof, and hence it's very important. In the next episode, I will be talking about how to identify and build winning digital partnerships and strategic alliances. I'll be talking about what kind of value sharing agreements should the companies have with the partners, how to ensure that those partnerships are non-cannibalizing in nature, because any partnership that has cannibalizing traits is an unstable marriage. But it does not matter how advantageous that partnership appears in the short run. In the long run, it's going to kill your business model. Hence, it's very important to have non-cannibalizing partnerships which offer you high ROI, and also at the same time ensure that your business model is not disrupted by the very partners that you are bringing into your business in order to win in the long run. This is Siddharth. Connect with me on topics related to digital strategy, transformation, platforms, and ecosystem.